I've got this bag. It's a nice, white, I know it's a trash bag. It's really what's inside that matters, right? I give you the option. Option one, this bag. This bag consists of all my experiences, knowledge, tips, even mistakes that I've learned from over the last 12 to 15 years on how to engage your audience. That's option one. Option two, I hope this stays there. Doesn't. Option two is you have me taking everything that is in there, possibly a little bit more or less, and presenting it to you today, here, now. With a show of hands, how many of you would choose the bag? Majority wins, by the way, but really only two? I thought I would get away from speaking to you, so I guess most of you want me to present this. I'm sorry, Mr. Bag, I will hold the fort today. So, before I move on to all the technical aspects of how to engage your audiences, I want you to take a mental note of a question that you need to ask yourself. Why those that didn't choose the bag didn't? Why did you not choose the bag? And hopefully, through the end of these masterclasses, you would have found that answer. Sawa? Together? Okay. So now, I know everything is very technical, but allow me to share with you a true story about a girl I know. Smart, beautiful, intelligent, strong-willed. She had ambitions like you and I. So many, many years ago, when this girl was just a child, she had an ambition. She had a dream. She wanted to be at the top of the highest peak in Africa, the mountain Kilimanjaro. Now, back in the day, remember that expeditions weren't as frequent as we have today. And everyone around would discourage you, saying that, hey, you're not of the right age. Children do not make that journey to make the climb. And so you must wait. Longingly, patiently, she waited until she was 15. When she turned 15, excited, she goes to her parents. Hey mom, hey dad, I have an ambition. I have a dream. I need to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. The parents were very supportive and they said, you should and you must. Ecstatic about that, she went into training. She spoke to everyone who went or made that journey before, figuring out what it would take to make her journey, make her climb smooth. Sadly, 2 weeks before she was made to make that climb, her parents met with an accident, which meant if you're like any child, you love your parents. Your parents mean the world to you, which meant that she had to put that dream aside, that ambition aside, and focus on being there for her family. She did that. Months went by. And then those months turned into years. And then life happened to her, like it happens to all of us. She got busy, studies, tuition, friends, school, exam. She fell in love. Before she knew it, she had graduated high school and she got married. Getting married is a life-changing thing. It's a game changer. I would even advise some of you not to, but that's another topic. But it's a life changer, right? And she understood that. She decided to take that ambition, put it under a rug, hide it somewhere inside her heart, because she wanted to focus on building her new life with her husband, making a living, earning a living, making a home. A few years into her marriage, she had her first child, a beautiful girl, as happy as she was. Now she started wondering, that ambition that I had, that dream that I had, would I ever achieve it? Would I ever get to the top? Life happens again. A few more years into her married life, she had her second child. She felt beyond happiness. She felt her family was complete. Now she was a full-time homemaker, an amazing mother. But she wondered, can I do this? That dream I had when I was a child, will I ever make it? Now, into her mid-30s, both her children are of age that they can take care of themselves. And she wonders, should I make it now? Should I try this? So one day when she's in front of the mirror and she's looking at herself, that ambition creeps up. She's looking at herself. I don't have the same body I had over 25 years ago. I don't have the strength I had. I don't even know if I can do it. I have n number of health conditions. What am I going to do? But because that ambition was so strong, made over 25 years, that dream crept out of that rug and said to her, you can and you must. So she decided at the age of 35, 36, that I'm going to attempt this and I'm going to train for it. It took her over a year just to get into shape, to be able to make that climb. And in February 2016, she made that climb. Now, for those who've been there, you know most expeditions have camps that you go through, and the last camp is where you have the last communication with your loved ones. And so I'm fast forwarding to that time. Usually in Kilimanjaro, they start at midnight to make the climb to the summit, or what they call the summit, or summiting. And so she calls her husband and her kids, and she says, I am at the last camp. I can't believe I made it. Wish me luck. At midnight tonight, I'm going to summit. Of course, the family was like, yes, go for it. We're proud of you. You can do it. Midnight comes. She starts that journey. Before you reach the peak in Kilimanjaro, there are different points. One of them is Gilman's. And usually that journey takes between 5 to 6 hours. It took her over 11 hours to reach Gilman's point. Why? Because altitude sickness hit her. She was sick. She wasn't able to go on any further. She wasn't well oriented. She lost strength. But she made it to Gilman's point. Now she's there. She can smell that ambition. She can feel that dream. Imagine you right there. But sadly, she had to retire and get down. After 48 hours, the husband and the kids receive a call from her. Everyone excited on this side and saying, hey, did you make it? Did you make it? On the other side, it's her, tears rolling down her cheek and saying, I failed. She comes back home. Everyone around her is happy and proud of her because she took that journey. She made the attempt. We spoke about the effort is more important sometimes than the result. But she felt let down. She felt this wasn't enough. I can't not live my dream, not achieve that peak. She decided she's going to attempt it again. She trained for 6 months this time, in the same year. Trained 3 times faster, 3 times harder, 3 times more. And in September of the same year, she made the second attempt. I'm fast forwarding to the last 2 days now. She makes that call again to her family. Hey, I'm at the last camp. This time, I hope I make it. The family on the other side is saying, we're proud of you, whatever you've done. We don't want to build that pressure. We're proud of you. Whatever you do, we still love you. Speak to you in 2 days. "36 hours later, there was a call. The husband and the kids rush to that call because they want to know what happened. And this time they answer, but they don't say anything because they don't want to put that, obligation or pressure on her. And on the other side, she says, I made it. So she made it. Why did I tell you that story? Unlike other speakers, I'm not going to follow a structure. My topic is to engage the audience, and I'm going to prove to you, without following any structure, head or tail, I'm going to engage with you. But we'll come back to why I told you this story. Now let me move on to the technical side of what I'm here to do. And by the way, that girl is my wife, Sophia, and she's there at Uhuru Peak. This was in September 2016. True story. So how do we engage our audiences? The previous speakers have spoken about some of the things that I would have touched on, but now I'm going on a fourth speech, which means I will leave them out. So I'm going to give you what I have the time for on exactly how do we engage the audiences. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to read this very quickly. Giving you 30 seconds. Without context. Done. Now, I'm going to show you that again in a moment. Probably give you 10 seconds. I need you to find how many F's there are in that statement. Ready? And when you find F's, please stand up. However many. Please stand up. Ready? Resuming reading time. So everyone who found two or more, three or less, sit down. Really? Everyone who found 4, sit down. 5, 6. That's why there are speakers. So there are 6 F's in the statement. Finished is 1, files is 2nd. Off. Result off is 3rd. Years off is 4th. Scientific is 5th. And the last off is 6th. So I didn't do that. Because everything that I'm going to share with you is not new. It's right there in front of you. You just need to see it. And sometimes seeing requires practice. Sometimes seeing requires experiences. And so that's what I'm going to take you through. So let's speak about the attention span of an audience. On an average, why are TED Talks under 20 minutes? Because on an average, a person can only focus between 17 to 20 minutes in a presentation. Right? When you walk in, the audience usually is going, hey, I like those socks. What's up with those socks? I like the hairstyle. Who the hell does he think he is? These are all the questions that go through the audience's mind. And that's where the piquing of the interest goes on. That's what you mean by engagement. What you do next will determine whether the audience interest, which is engagement, peaks or dips. And throughout your talk, you will have these moments of peak and dips, peak and dips. It's up to you on how to get their attention and their interest. So here are some of the ways that you can do it in. So again, most people want to present like this, okay? In suits and ties and whatnot, right? But who's to say you have to present like that? Why can't you present like this?
Why? Why can't you break the norms? Let's look at the structure that you must follow. And the previous speaker touched on this, so I'm going to go very fast at that. It's the beginning, the middle, the end. Usually, most presentations follow this. I'm not following it today. That is just to prove to you that you can if you don't have to. If you're good, you can get away from the structure. Okay? But this is the structure, typically. I would like to say in the beginning, be a stunner. I walked in late. Wasn't purposeful, intentful, but be a stunner. Right? And how do you stun your audience? You ask questions. I asked you some questions in the beginning. So did they, the earlier speakers. Use a prop. I used my bag. Right? Or shock them. Shocking is usually by doing an activity, asking a provocative question, stating a fact that they did not know about. So I could easily give you a fact. Did you know that you can now chew unflavored chewing gum when you're fasting and your fasting is okay? Did you know that? Show me hands. Guys, I just made that up. You couldn't possibly have known that. But that's shocking, right? The middle part. Call everyone to adventure. Take them on an adventure. What does an adventure have? What does the middle part consist of? Drama. Right? We all like drama. As human beings, we love gossip, right? Social beings, we like suspense. We also like dilemma. We spoke about healthy eating against, was it chocolate mousse, a chocolate milkshake, right? We all face this in our lives. Contrast, good and evil, hot and cold, right? Humor, it's important. That's how you connect with your audience. That's how you engage them. You know why I put this there? Doctor spoke about when you make a mistake, you are the only one who knows. Your audience doesn't know that. I'm just proving to you by showing you a mistake you had no idea about. I could easily say, I put this really fancy donkey, is a donkey or a horse, I don't even know. But you see those, you could change those teeth into gold teeth and say, this guy is a big stunner because they're showing their bling. Right? Bring your personality in the middle as well. But this is really to show you that even if you make a mistake, your audience doesn't know. It's you. It's up to you on how to change that and how to move on. And the last part is really about inspiring action. Right? What do you want your audience to take away from this? Give them clarity. Give them something to take away that is worthwhile. Right? You're giving them a promise. You're giving them inspiration, like I said. You're giving them actions to take. Now, how do you bring these things into the structure? Very quickly. How do I make the structure the start or the beginning, the middle, and the end? And I told you all those things that you need to do. How do you bring them? You bring them by telling, okay, I'm going ahead, but this is where I made a mistake, but I'm letting you know. Okay? I jumped faster. But knowing your audience, I didn't want to have this slide there because I asked Hassan what the audience was going to be like. But it's important for you. You have to understand who your audience is going to be. Tell a story. I told you a story in the beginning about the ambition and the dream. It had nothing to do with this, but I connected with you because so many of you I could see could relate to that things because everyone has gone through that in their lives. Stories are powerful. Stories are everything. In fact, if you're a great storyteller, you don't need anything else. Make it visual, and so I'm showing you. If you have a moment, show videos. It doesn't only have to be photos. Use examples. Make the unknown known for your audience. Simplify for them. Bring your personality. There isn't another one like you. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to follow the norm. You don't have to look like everyone else. I love the happy socks, make me happy, so I wear happy socks. You don't have to if you can't. So I asked you a few questions throughout my talk. And so one question that I asked you was, why did you not choose this bag? And does anyone have an answer to that?
I guess that it's your experience and you're the best person to share it out.
Great.
Because if we take your experience, if you want to know the lessons that understood from the experience, it's worth it.
Brilliant. Yes. Second? Anyone else? Go ahead. Sorry?
Humans are lazy.
Humans are lazy. I know, we are. I get that, I like that too. It's usually about things we don't like. But let me tell you something. No matter how much knowledge I have in here, how much experience I have, and I can give you everything, all these things, it will not make sense to you if I don't emotionally connect to you. And here's the last tip. You know the props I told you to start off with? You can bring an end to it by ending it like this. Of course, I littered it out, cleared it up. Thank you.